And just like that, I am now live streaming on my Facebook page, which I haven't done in a very long time. So I'm just going to make sure everything's okay, folks. Um, that I'm actually here. Here I am. Okay. So I'm going to actually try to share this to the group as well. See if I can do that. Share to, I don't think I can share to, yeah, I can share to group. So here we go, sharing to the group. Nick and Mr. X. This is the thing, folks, is what we are going to be doing tonight is talking about creating some content exclusively for UK ice hockey players, both past and present. It's something that I've wanted to do for a very long time. It's something that I have kind of dabbled at with regards to doing a couple of podcasts. The first one was called Tough Through Tender. The next one was called Repurpose. Did 6 episodes in each one. Just try to get a format right and just try to be a little bit different. But over the last few months, I've really decided to focus on creating a platform, a support network for UK hockey players, both past and present. Really, because of my journey, from the time that I stopped playing hockey and being involved as a member of the first players union in England, which now no longer exists, but also seeing over the 30 years of me being involved in British ice hockey at some level or another that support for UK hockey players is very, very limited. And there's been a lot of things that have happened over the last years where we've all seen that players have needed support, not just while they're playing, but a lot when they ended their career, which was something that happened with me. Is that when I stopped playing hockey, losing the bonds and the connections and the accountability that I had with teammates, it was something that I just wasn't prepared for. It was something that no one ever tells you how to prepare for the end of your career. And it's something that as athletes, we are now more aware of. And I do believe that even if you prepare fully, there's nothing that you can really do that will help you deal with some of those feelings. So having a support network around you is really, really important. And I have met a lot of amazing hockey players. I've been so fortunate to play with, play against, and while on my time at Sky Sports, interview and talk to the best of the best and everything in between. And I've been so fortunate to get to know the guys, and they all had amazing stories. So I wanted to create, a podcast or a YouTube channel where I could interview these guys and do it a little bit differently and have a format. And I think we've done that. And what I did a couple of months ago when I talked about the UK Ice Hockey Stick Together Tribe is I went on a few podcasts. And one of the guys that asked me on my podcast, I just had a connection with, and we talked a little bit. And I just had this feeling one night. I was like, do you know what? I wonder if this guy can help me produce this content, these shows. And I reached out to him via text. I said, "Do you want to talk?" And it's Mr. S here, and he took the phone call, and I told him that I wanted to do, and he said yes. So tonight we are going to announce our collaboration of how me and this guy are going to come together to bring UK ice hockey players exclusively some amazing content. And then now everything I want to talk about, I'm going to talk with him. So without further ado, I'm going to ask I wanted to say Mr. X. It is Mr. X down here, but with the S on it. Please reveal yourself to everybody, dude. There we go.
Evening, guys. My name's Ben Hyde, and I'm the host and founder of Zero Pucks Given and the ZPG Network. And I will be helping Nick with the Retribe Stick Together UK Tribe Hockey Podcast.
And I'm so stoked, Ben. I'm so stoked that you can do this, and we can do this together. I think that whenever people team up and collaborate, it's far better than a knucklehead like me, just trying to figure things out on my own. And that was really one of the things, Ben, that I was like, I don't want to do this alone. I want to share it with somebody. And you had me on your podcast, and we had this. It was pretty vulnerable share, and we got pretty honest with each other. And I just thought, I'd reach out to you and ask you if you'd help. What was that? What was that like? What did you think when I was reaching out and talking to you, asking you to if the like how did you weigh it up? What were the thoughts?
The immediate thoughts were, "Oh my God, how much spare time do I have?" But obviously, moving into the off season of hockey now, I do have some time. The whole podcast scene, I'm actually still relatively new to. I've only just finished the second season of Zero Pucks Given. It's been about 18 months now. So when I first started, I knew nothing about social media profiles or recording, audio quality, video editing. And I started by literally just recording it into my phone, sat in the corner of the room by myself. And I gradually progressed to the sort of where I am now, where I have fully fledged video interviews with people from across the ice hockey world, mainly focused on the Britain division, the third tier of the UK, because that's the division I watch. Um, and when we spoke, Nick, I wanted you to come on because the Retribe thing sounded really interesting. But obviously, I knew you'd played in this country. I knew you'd played at Chelmsford, which is the team that I follow. Um, I didn't actually know about your struggles. So when we had our conversation, people said they could see on the video. When you started going into it, I looked genuinely shocked because I just didn't.
You said we both were honest, we both were vulnerable, and it really did open me up to the idea of men can talk like this now. We can openly talk about what's gone wrong in our lives, how we've repaired it, and as you say, the team thing. I've never played hockey. I've been a fan of it my whole life, but I've played football. I've been a boxer, so I understand the changing room, the dressing room, that sort of team mentality. And as you get older and come out of the sport that you've played, you're right. The support just isn't there.
Some guys really, really do need it, and I think what you're going to be doing is fantastic, and I'm so excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, what we're going to be doing. And what we did, because you had a little bit of time to think about it. What I did is I sent you examples of the stuff that I've done before with Repurpose and the Tough Through Tender stuff, where I think I had interviewed Scott Plews and Danny Myers, and I wanted you to look at the format in terms of like how, because I know there's a big juggle between like short form content, which is the TikTok generation, and then like the Joe Rogans of the world that do long form, like 3.5 hour podcasts. Um, I really don't know what is best for it, but I do know that a hockey game is 60 minutes, and that you can break it down into three periods, and also you can break down kind of life into three periods. You know what it was like in the middle and what life is like now. And I thought the three went really good together, that, you could tell a story in the beginning, the middle, and the end in three periods. And then you watch that. And then what were your thoughts on that format?
Yeah, I love the idea of that format. I think it's something that was tried on a podcast in this country before, but it wasn't to this effect. It was more of a just talking about the game in three separate periods. But to actually, as you say, break someone's life down into three sections is a brilliant way of looking at it, because like that, on the theory of relativity, every action has an equal reaction. That's where we're going to go. We're going to literally go from A to B to C, and then the rest of the alphabet is what these guys are going to be living for the rest of their lives. And hopefully, the conversations that they'll be having with you will put them in a really great stead for the rest of it.
And then the next hurdle that we had to come to terms with is knowing that, in the Facebook group right now, there's about 430 members. And I've coming from Sky Sports and kind of missing out on that time of social media, where now the people who I worked with, like the Gabby Logans of this world, have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of followers on their Instagram, and they've got this huge reach. Even Gabby did a podcast called Midlife, and I was like, oh, I would like to. Something in my ego was like, I'd like to obtain that one day, and I'd like to have a YouTube channel with like tens of thousands of followers and all, and it was this juggle of the ego of me wanting to, use my experience in TV and try to bring it out in this, through social media and through the platforms of YouTube, etc. And it was like, I just, part of me is like, Nick, that's gone. That's gone. Don't worry about the quantity. Worry about the quality. And when I was like, oh, I know I can focus on a group of men who I identify, which is UK hockey players. To create content just for the players means that right now our audience is about 430 people. How did that, I mean, it's something that I've come to terms with thinking that's awesome, because I know that the guests are going to be like told that this is just for the guys and gals who are currently playing or have retired from playing in the UK. We're going to target them. So their stories can be really like, almost like they're talking to the guys in the changing room. And I know fans are essential to the game, and people who are interested in the game are essential to the game. And I never want to exclude them, but I think to make raw content that is meaningful and can create something in somebody, maybe to help them in their lives, to target it just towards UK past and present hockey players is limiting our audience. So how did you kind of come to terms with that?
A little bit, actually. I felt like it was a little bit more pressure, because a lot of the stuff that I create now is for the fans. I'm a fan. It's by the fan for the fans. So I'm aware.
Not everybody is going to like it. I'm aware of that. I'm very lucky I haven't actually received a great deal of negative feedback since I've been doing it, which is very fortunate. But for us to, as you say, limit our audience to just this group of athletes and fantastic people that have played this amazing sport in this country, I'm really now feeling the pressure that it has to be quality. It has to be exactly what they want to hear. And we have to get the points across in a really clever way. The thing is, when you do these chats with these guys, chances are it's going to run over an hour.
Yeah.
So I've got to somehow trim that into 3 20-minute periods without skipping out anything important, anything that everyone else will need to hear. Obviously, at the discretion of our guests, they might say, "Oh, you know what? Actually, I don't really want that to go in there. Can you cut that out?" That's not a problem. But yeah, for us to actually nail down this stuff into 3 20-minute periods, it's going to be interesting for me, and I really, really just, like I said, I really hope that everyone enjoys it.
Well, the way I deal with it, I think everyone will enjoy it. I think it's like anything like this, it's going to take time. Nobody starts off at episode 1 with what they are expecting in episode 100 and 1000. It's going to take time, and we'll get better at it as we go along. But my cheat is just to do it like it's live and not edit it. So I don't know, that might be something that we can actually put to the audience too, is like, live is amazing. And we know if it's just for that audience, if we can do maybe do them maybe live, I mean, that's something for us to consider, and maybe we put it out to people, whether or not they would prefer that. So that's always that's an interesting thing, and that's something that I did learn in TV too, Ben. Was like when you're going hot live, it's like you're on it, you're performing. And if you're recording, sometimes there could be this thing of like, oh, do you know what? I can go back and change that. So it's something that we'll come to terms with, and we'll know which way to do it best as we move along.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting idea, actually, and something that could possibly be like a special for every now and again, whichever guest is willing. I did see in the UK Ice Hockey Stick Together Tribe group that a few people are meeting up at the Maple Leaf in Covent Garden in a couple of weeks. I think that's something that could be considered. We can say to them, look, we're going to come in. Can we take a corner and set up our video, and can we go live from here? I think that'd be a really interesting idea to do.
I'm up for it. I think that I know people have done a lot of stuff from the Maple Leaf before. I used to know the manager there, but unfortunately, he's no longer there. He's no longer with us. But I'm sure we can make some phone calls. Well, but hey, as we're talking about this, let's put out a few tweets and a few posts and ask people what they think and how many people are going to come, and whether or not we can do something with it. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I think that would be definitely interesting. So the only live I've done recently was I was the commentator for the Southern finals in the playoffs this year, and that was my first experience of doing anything live since I was a radio apprentice, like
and
25
now
years
because
ago.
we're live now.
Yeah, of course, I'm
Yeah.
live now. So
Yeah.
that was and I was feeling okay about it until my co-commentator said to me, "Don't worry about it. It's just remember, once you've said it, it's out there. You can't take it back."
Yeah, yeah. I was always told that I was better live than I was recorded. I don't know if like insult or not, but Ben, we also I think we can talk about guests because what we've been doing over the last few months is we've been having some sessions with guys. Sessions by meaning I'm just meaning like places for guys to come and talk. And we've had a regular group of guys over the last couple of months who've been coming to talk. And I'm not going to speak out of turn. I think we can announce three of our guests would be, and they've all said yes, would be one of your old Chelmsford Chieftain dudes, Peter Hewitt. So he's gonna come out, which will be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jason Wood, ex-Cardiff legend, Streatham guy. And the other one I think they confirmed is Martin Genoway, my old team captain. So down on the Isle of Wight. I know those three guys, they've been meeting with us regularly, and they're going to be maybe the first three guests for our podcast. So we've got some guys already lined up, but then also I've got some guys that I talked to who are now retired and back in Canada, some coaches of like Super League era teams, guys who have been retired into the UK Hockey Hall of Fame, and they've agreed to come on as well. So we're gonna have like a whole bunch of guys coming on, and the only prerequisite is that you have played or are playing hockey in the UK. So it'll be awesome.
Yeah, and as you say, that's where the exclusivity comes for the group, because not only is it being made, the content's being made exclusively for all of you players that are in the group, you actually are listening to your compadres. These are your brothers and your sisters that are in the group that have done what you do. They're doing what you do. So it's going to be just so relatable for you, and anything that you can take from it is surely going to be a positive.
Yeah, Ben, I'm looking forward to it, buddy. And I know that we were going to just do a quick 15-minute live. I think we're there now. So folks, here's the team for the UK, the Retribe Stick Together podcast, YouTube, or we'll figure out where you're going to see it. But as it goes right now, we are going to be putting it in exclusively to the Stick Together Tribe Facebook page, just like we're doing now, as well as on my page. We're doing this just because we have to do it that link, because you can't do lives in a group, in a Facebook group. But we're going to figure out the best ways to get these to you. I'm sure if we do end up with a back catalog of episodes, then we'll probably put them out for people later on, the general public later on. But right now, just know that I said it the other day, like if you played hockey in the UK, to me and to Ben, you're a special person. It's a very unique place to play with unique challenges with regards to facilities and training times and finances and the bureaucracy and the runnings of leagues. It isn't the easiest place to play, and even though I think we do an amazing job and accomplish amazing things, I think a lot of it's down to the players. Unique, amazing, hardworking guys that I really, really admire, and you deserve this. You deserve this network, this support network, and you deserve this content that Ben and I are going to create. So stay tuned. Ben, do you have anything final to say?
Just thank you so much for considering me to do this. I'm absolutely delighted to be a part of it.
I think we're going to make a great team, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks, everybody. That's me and Ben now signing off for tonight. The news is that Ben and I have teamed up to produce this podcast content for UK Ice Hockey Stick Together Tribe. So stay tuned. And until then, it's bye for now. See you later.